Davis steps under center. Gibson and McClendon behind him. Davis with motion by Richard. Will give the ball to McClendon. He leaps. Oh, he doesn't get in. He fumbled the football. Carolina holds. The game is over. And Carolina has won the game.
Finley to throw. Over the middle, intercepted. Wolford again. Wolford the other way. At the 30, the 40. Wolford to midfield. Miles Wolford with the pick. The heels on the doorstep of an enormous victory.
Left side of the line. Hood standing to Williams' right. Williams gonna throw. One-on-one. Davis has it. Touchdown. Carolina wins. Carolina is the Coastal Division champion. Bernard fields it at the 26. Heading to the far side. Gio at the 35. Gio is at the 50. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Gio is going to take it for a touchdown. Are you kidding me? Connor Barth for the possible win. Snap, spot, kick away, high enough, long enough. It's good! It's good! Carolina has won the game on a 42-yard field goal by freshman Connor Barth. Good gosh, dirty!
This is the Heel Tough Blog Podcast.
Hey guys, and welcome in to another edition of the Heel Tough Blog Podcast. The quarantine interview series continues tonight with former Tar Heel wide receiver Anthony Ratliff-Williams. And first of all, man, I just want to check and see how your family's doing during this time. I know everybody's kind of going through a little bit of an adjustment period with everything that's going on with the coronavirus. But how's your family doing? Is everybody at least healthy and hanging in there?
Yeah, man. Everybody's doing good. We're in quarantine, staying safe, and making sure everybody, staying healthy, and hoping everybody's doing the same. How about yourself?
Yeah, man. Yeah, everybody's kind of hanging in there. I think everybody's going a little stir crazy with everything that's going on. But soon we'll be back to the life of sports and doing what we were previously doing. But of course, you had such a great career at Carolina, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I wanted to start by asking you about your career at Butler. A school in here in Matthews, just down the road from me, actually, where you had a ton of success as a quarterback, and is a school that also produced just a ton of success at the quarterback position. What was it like for you playing for a coach in Brian Hales that had a lot of success with the quarterbacks, and really just at Butler High School where they had a ton of success as well with the quarterback position?
Personally, for me, it was a great experience. I mean, me and Coach Hill's relationship is a lifelong relationship that'll go way past football. And just also coming to Atlanta Thunder, man, it was a lot of confidence going into that role because it's a pedigree of the pedigree at the time. And we really enjoyed just kind of winning the table and having those group of quarterbacks. I'm just best to be a part, but that was a great experience, and that's kind of one of the best moments of my life. So I'll cherish those moments forever.
Well, of course, when you were there at Butler, you got recruited by a bunch of different schools, but of course you committed to Carolina. You came on campus as a quarterback, but in your redshirt freshman season, you got moved to wide receiver. And I know your dad has been really vocal on social media saying that he wanted you to stay at quarterback. What was your standing with kind of how the move went down from your standpoint? Was it something that you were definitely on board with, or were you someone that was wanting to stay at quarterback but knew that for the best, for the betterment of the team, you had to move over to wide receiver?
Me personally, I would say I was kind of taking advantage of the opportunity that was given to me. Mm-hmm. I think we were at a good point at quarterback. We were kind of solid at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was accepting that at the time, and I just felt that it was kind of okay to make a move. I mean, after discussion with my parents and us talking, of course, we came to the conclusion that if we're going to make the move, I'm going to be all in. I'm going to, do everything I got to do and kind of just take those steps I got to that's necessary to also help the team, but also better myself and my play and my skill set. Make sure that when my name was called and my time was up, I was ready. And that was kind of one of the biggest things that I focused on as a key when I was switching over, was trying to just get consistent and maintain my work ethic and also being able to learn and apply. And those things were kind of tough at times, but
Right.
over time it got a little easier, and I started to enjoy myself in field position and learning nuances. So it was a beautiful thing to actually do and experience.
What was really the biggest challenge of the move to wide receiver? Because I feel like for you, being a quarterback as opposed to maybe a guy that's a running back and moves to receiver or some other move, for you, being a quarterback, you have to know so much about an offense. But what was that biggest challenge for you with the move?
The biggest challenge for me, I would say, is just actually being a receiver and learning how to play that position and be, good. I would say, not necessarily just being a good player and productive at that position, because I've never played it before. I played it a couple snaps in high school, a couple games, and made plays a little bit, but it was never felt like it was my calling. I never thought it would be something that I would do in the future. So when I initially switched over,
Right.
the biggest thing to me was learning how to get in and out of cuts. Just the natural thing that a receiver does, not making it seem so stiff and predictable, and not looking like I'm a receiver actually. So that was probably the hardest thing to do, was kind of just let your athleticism take over.
Right. Well, once you made the move to wide receiver, you had a lot of success. Of course, the first year in 2016, you kind of had a rotational role, but 2017 was really where you took off with that huge game against Louisville. And not only with the fact that you had a good game receiving, but also just an amazing game as kick returner. But, did you feel like with everything that had kind of left from that previous season that you needed to kind of take your game to the next level and maybe become one of those leaders of that 2017 team?
I would definitely take that. I feel like, the Louisville game was definitely a stepping stone as far as putting my name out there and taking advantage of opportunity and just kind of going off there and slingshot myself forward, and not only being dominant, but also taking that momentum and propelling me to a better player the next season, and trying to just take those games one at a time and learn something new about yourself every single game, and then taking the role of, now that I've learned my responsibilities as a player and as a receiver and produced, I can now expect those things of my teammates. You know what I'm saying? On an equal level, and being able to kind of call on my brothers and let them know, okay, now this is what we got to do, and these are things we have to do, and I'm doing my part, so let's all get on this. Let's all get on the, on the table and let's make something happen.
Yeah, no, and you guys had you personally had a ton of success. Of course, the team had some struggles, just from talking to a lot of the guys. It seems that most of you guys kind of think along the same lines, and I'm assuming that it's the same for you. Really, it wasn't one thing that you could kind of put your finger on where the success dipped from 2016 into that 17 and 18 season. From your perspective as well, do you feel like it was just that, I know just from talking to Tyler Powell and Jeremiah Clark, they said finishing games was tough, but I feel like also injuries was a really big part of it. Was that kind of what you felt was the difference between those 2015-16 teams and those 2017-18 teams?
Definitely. I think we got attacked by the injury bug bad 2 years in a row.
Right.
Kind of got a bit bad by that. But also, going along, piggybacking what you said about the finishing, it was just kind of, it was something that we couldn't get over. It was something that we couldn't get over, and it was kind of a bitter taste that always in our mouth after games, because we were at reach of obtaining the victory and kind of getting the job done, and we just could never get over that hump. So definitely the injury bug played a part, but also you got to finish as well. So we always look back and always a bittersweet feeling, but yeah, even during those times, though, I'm assuming you had a ton of great memories. Are there really any memories in specific that kind of stick out for you from your time on campus? Oh, man. Biggest memories I had on that field, on that campus, I always loved our fan days. I always love when the fans come out and show the support, and just coming to show love to the players. And that was something that we always cherished. We always appreciated it. We always loved our fans for that. Just come out there and let us feel appreciated, but also so they know we appreciate them. So those are the days that I never remember, but also just games, man. I say 2017 Duke home game, that was a sellout. That was one of my favorite games because of the scenery in the moment. It don't get better than that. It's a battle games, I didn't really feel the moment until afterwards. I didn't really think about what happened, what took place, or nothing like that. So you kind of get in the locker room and playing on with that to the game. But just knowing that our efforts in that season, because it was such a rough patch, and we put it together that game, and it was so fluid, and something we couldn't miss. That's what I loved about it. It was just what it should have been all along, but those moments that you can't get back. But that's definitely a couple moments that I always cherish.
Well, that moment against Pittsburgh, the opening kick return for a touchdown, was one of my favorite moments as well, because I was actually watching with some friends at a local bar and almost got kicked out within the first couple minutes of the game because I lost it when you took it back to the house, because it had been such a rough year. So to see you take it to the house, I was like, look, we've got a chance. And that game, you guys really, like you said, everybody just put everything together, did everything that they had to do to pull out the victory. And you were such a huge part of that. But I mean, look, you were just such an exciting player. You end up entering into the NFL draft, and you were with the Titans last offseason all the way up until final cuts. What was it like to play under Coach Vrabel and to play for a team that at the time he didn't know it, but would go on to play in the AFC Championship game?
Oh man, that was such a great experience. And I appreciate the Tennessee Titans, Coach Vrabel, for the opportunity, but just being there, being in the locker room, being around the team, man, it was such a beautiful environment. I mean, the team was all love. It was just genuine care when we stepped in the locker room, and we kind of just meshed early, we gelled early, and it was kind of hard to lead those guys at that point, but I mean, it is what it is. That's how it goes in this game. So, but definitely being a part of the Titans organization was a great experience. Coach Vrabel was a great coach, very disciplined, but also very fun. Every day was a fun day out there on the field, and he had that player mindset still, so it's always like we always trying to get energy. Everything has to be energy, and that's always what it was every single day. And you love that as a football player, just being on the field and being able to let yourself go have fun and just play free. And Vrabel, that was one of his big keys, but also playing with discipline and knowing your assignment and being on your job. So They definitely taught me a lot, especially from that jump from college to the pros. That team definitely showed me a lot, and to see them prosper to that, what they put on the screen and being able to go to the AFC Championship, seeing that final product, I could tell that was. I mean, that's something that I would say I saw coming based off the work that we put in the preseason.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you got a lot of reps with Ryan Tannehill. Was that something that when he got that job and took over and really started having success, was that something that you were kind of just had a different opinion on than everybody else? Kind of had that opinion of, I knew this was what he was capable of?
Absolutely, but I mean, as a teammate, as a player, you kind of realize that everybody has a job to do. We all have to execute to a certain extent, but also being able to play above that is everything and more. So it's being able to get in the locker room and play with Tan. I can always tell he's spot on. He's a hard worker. There first, last to lead type of guy. I mean, he always put that work in and could throw a ball if he was consistent. So definitely wasn't starting to put it on tape to show out that season, but I mean, definitely more to come, and he got himself paid, so that's definitely big.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. He is a guy that, I thought just really got some bad breaks when he was in Miami in terms of injuries. So I expect the same thing. And the other thing for you, at least when you were with the Titans, at least you didn't play on the defensive side of the ball, so you didn't have to face Derrick Henry because that would be a tough experience. But now, you're going out, you're going to play for the Raiders at the end of or you were with the Raiders at the end of the year. You signed a future contract with them, and now you potentially are going to have the opportunity to go and play in Vegas, kind of determined. It's going to be determined by everything that's going on, whether the stadium's going to be ready or not. But it looks like you're going to get the opportunity to play out there and be coached by John Gruden. How excited are you for that chance to go there and to be a part of all of that?
Man, it's a blessing. I mean, you want to take baby steps. We're not kind of moving fast, but I'm living in the moment. I'm really trying to make everything happen now. So being a part of the organization and being able to have the opportunity is a blessing, and I'm ready to go back out there and compete. But just being part of the Raiders organization is definitely something different. I mean, we got that Raider option, so I guess I don't know what to call it. It's like it's super free, it's super fun. There's always energy out there, and I love those guys. Everybody on their team, so I love the staff and everything that we kind of building over there. It's something beautiful. So I just can't wait to get to camp and make it happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're excited to see you back out there. You're one of those guys that played during a tough time at Carolina. Both of your seasons came during seasons that probably won't be remembered too well in the history books, but you were a fantastic player, and glad we were able to get you on. Hopefully you can get back out there as soon as possible. Stay safe for now, though, and same to the rest of your family, and we'll talk to you down the line, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. Stay safe, stay blessed.
All right, man. All right, Anthony Ratliff-Williams, the former Tar Heel wide receiver, stopping by with us. And, as he said, he's really just hoping for the opportunity to get back out there. And that's pretty much what everybody's hoping for. Now, the good-ish news that we're hearing is that according to so I don't know exactly how they've been doing this. I don't know where they're exactly hearing it from. I believe it's from the CDC, but I could be wrong on that. But Adam Schefter, Adrian Wojnarowski, and Jeff Passan, who are the three biggest news breakers in terms of their respective sports for ESPN. You've got, of course, Adam Schefter for the NFL, as well as Adrian Wojnarowski for the NBA and Jeff Passan for Major League Baseball. They had a meeting the other day, I think it was on Tuesday when they had the meeting, and Adam Schefter was the first to tweet it out that as of right now, the belief is that there is a good feeling around the possibility of being able to play the 2020 college football season, which would also kind of extend on to the NFL season, which would help Anthony with his chance to make the Raiders. So I think as of right now, again, we got to take everything with a grain of salt that we're hearing because we just don't know about everything that's going on with this virus. We don't know if there could be another flare-up, how all of that is going to work because we don't have a vaccine that's in place just yet. Things are looking at least more positive than they were looking a week ago. That's the good news when it comes to all of this coronavirus stuff. So, of course, we'll keep you updated on everything that is happening around not only just Tar Heel football in terms of this, but in all of college football, which will affect Carolina as well. So we'll have you covered with all of that over on the Heel Tough blog, and make sure that you guys go there, check out everything that we've got on the website right now. Now, of course, this interview, I'm actually, since I gave that little update, actually, I'm going to throw this one up there. This will be the next one that'll go up. So I'm going to push the other ones that are that are supposed to be coming up next down just a little bit. So we'll move it back to next Wednesday. Will be the order of the next one that we had recorded. I'm going to move this one up so that you guys can get this update. But we've got a ton of stuff on the website as well in terms of non-coronavirus stuff. We did hear from Phil Longo as well as Sam Howell this week. So we tell you a little bit more about what they're doing during this time. But after that, we kind of move the focus off from that and go on to recruiting, where we have a ton of news that you guys will want to check out. That's all in our weekly storylines. You guys can check it out there. We've got an update on Ranieri Dilworth and his commitment, when that's going to happen. He now has a date that he has set. So make sure that you guys go and check that out as well. In there, we've got updates on Tony Grimes, Peyton Page, as well as Colby Smith, all guys that Carolina is in the thick of it with in terms of the recruiting trail for the 2021 class, where Tar Heels are just burning it up right now. The number 3 class in the country, number 2 in the ACC, right behind Clemson, a spot where if you think about it, little over 18 months ago, nobody would have thought that this would have been possible with where Carolina was at. Just an amazing turnaround for the Tar Heels under head coach Mack Brown. And we've got you covered with everything on the Heel Tough blog website for that. Any team news that we've got coming out for football, as well as all the other updates we have on the website. Same thing with basketball. We had you covered when Brandon Huffman entered the transfer portal. So make sure you guys go back and read that article. as well as plenty of these season reviews to come, and already a few up on the website. You can check out all the major senior contributors so far have been put up there. Brandon Robinson, Christian Keeling, as well as Justin Pierce, and then we'll circle back around and hit some of the other seniors when we go on to the Blue Squad guys. Meanwhile, we'll go through a lot of the other guys that contributed and do an individual breakdown for them as we go throughout the offseason. We'll have you covered with recruiting on that end as well, and then for the baseball team, we'll have you covered when they come back in 2021. We're still looking for a baseball writer. If there's somebody that is interested in writing full-time baseball for us, just hit me up on Twitter at HTBAnthony, or you can email me anthony.pagnotta@yahoo.com. And we'd love to have a discussion, try to get you guys started. Of course, look, we've been doing it for a couple of years now, but we are far from professionals. This is how we started, was through the blog, sort of got our experience from there. So we would love to help other people as well that are maybe looking to get a little bit of writing experience, get something out there. We're, of course, always looking to bring more people on. So if you're interested, let us know, and we will try to get you in the works and get you started on the website. So, of course, in terms of the podcast, we want you to do the same thing that we've been telling you for most of the shows: rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Again, the rate and review part is just so that we can move up some of the rankings on places like Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, because we want other Tar Heel fans to find this podcast. That's the biggest thing, is we want to be able to spread the audience. We want people to be able to hear these great interviews. We want people to be able to follow along with us as we go throughout the season, where we'll have even more great guests on as well. Of course, we're going to go into the off-season, or we're going to go into the more preseason mode here in the next couple of months, probably starting. It really just depends on when they're going to be getting everything back underway. We'll kind of determine when we're going to have guys on. But of course, as we've done in the past, we'll have guys on like Phil Steele, who of course writes the college football Bible in terms of, he's just a great guy to have on in terms of previews and all sorts of stuff like that. So we'll have him on. Brett Ciencia from Pick Six Previews, the most accurate group out there right now, actually edges out Phil Steele by just a little bit, but both guys are really great. And then of course, Stephen Lassen from Athlon Sports, another great magazine that you guys can read, friend of the podcast who's been on quite a few times. Same thing with Bill Bender from the Sporting News. He helps write the college football preview for them as well. So we're going to have all those guys on before the season starts to help preview what should be an extremely exciting 2020 season. And even when we get in season, we'll have a ton of guys coming on during the year. That's usually when we go to our go-to guys like Pat James of Go Heels. He'll come on, talk a little bit with us during the season about some of the stuff going on. Jacob Turner, guys like that who can join us, as well as our breakdowns, which we think they're pretty good. We could be wrong. Let us know with the review, and we'll definitely take it into consideration. So we want all those people along to join us. The best way that you can do it so you don't miss any of the episodes, hit that subscribe button on whatever site you listen to us on. We would really appreciate that. And of course, we hope that you guys are enjoying everything that we're doing here during this downtime, trying to keep you guys somewhat entertained, as well as keep your minds off of everything that's going on in a scary world right now. Just kind of take your minds off, ease the anxiety a little bit, and talk a little bit of Tar Heel football. So once again, I want to thank Anthony Ratliff-Williams for stopping by with us. I want to thank you guys for listening, and as always, go Tar Heels!